brings people into the country illegally. That is amazing.
Good day, viewers, and welcome to another episode of Government and Public Service Reports on Atlantic Television Network right here in the city of Port Harcourt. News, events, and stories abound in the state system. ATN's appetite for in-depth, unbiased, and factual reportage is the driving principle for this program in order to bring government activities to the doorstep of the people. First of all, let's go through the highlights of today's report. In Rivers State, Governor Fubara says promoting peace means resisting insults. In Delta State, the Board of Inquiry to investigate Okwama killings. Climate change, federal government to create jobs for 10,000 youths. And in judiciary, Justice Ahmad Olarewaju Belgore is dead. Let's go for a very short break, and when we return, we're heading straight to the details. Please stay tuned.
On the point of order,
Honorable
they are not picking our calls. They made up their minds.
So no agreement with the EU, but
every day our lives are changed by history.
We are one people, all of us.
Leaders, politics,
Nobody's ambition is what's the blood.
I have fought a very firmly. Natural occurrence, war, and the world economy.
I belong to everybody, and I belong to nobody.
ATN.
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on sport news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, and the happenings on The Fact Today. Only on ATN.
Governor Siminalayi Fubara said the peace has prevailed in Rivers because he drew strength from God to resist insults and tantrums thrown at him, thereby frustrating attempts by some disgruntled persons who wanted to plunge the state into unending crisis. He added that because he has anchored his government on promoting peace and enabling atmosphere has been provided investments and sustainable development to flourish in Rivers State. Fubara made the assertion when he received the delegation of members of the Bishops and Gospel Singers Association International Incorporated Rivers State Chapter at the Government House in Port Harcourt on Tuesday. Represented by the head of Rivers State Civil Service, Dr. George Nweke, Governor Fubara said that while most people took his meekness for weakness, stance on peace has unarguably enhanced harmonious atmosphere of concord as residents sleep with their two eyes closed and investors and shareholders are happy with the returns on investment. He said, before what they hear of River State is that they are fighting and some genuine investors will not come. Some people even ask you, how are you coping in River State? But now, he asserted, the governor has brought about a lot of changes in the state. One of the most important things is that he has changed the negative narrative. It is no longer a rivers of blood. It is now a rivers of peace. We are enjoying our lives here. Why? Because there is a change in the narrative. We have peace. The governor is, as much as possible, absorbing any level of insult at him only for one purpose, that River State may have peace, that we may grow, that this state will experience genuine development. Governor Fubara urged his visitors as members of the Christian family in the state to continue to pray for the state and the government so that the enemies of the state will be put to greater shame. This peace is what I want you to embrace. Go and continue to pray, because when the sower of the seed went and sowed, the enemy went in the night and sowed tares inside there. But the governor is sowing peace. When I listened to the leader of the team, His Grace Eddie Obonda, he said, you came all the way from Eleme Junction and stopped at major junctions, and you uttered prayers for the peace of River State. He also said, I hereby want to thank you for identifying with the governor at a time like this, at a time when it looks as if someone wants the governor's peace. Someone wants the governor's peace posture misunderstood as weakness, when someone has the strength to fight back but refuses to fight back. This is a bigger strength. That power of restraint does not just come, it can only come from God. You cannot give peace if you do not have peace within you. The governor is not interested in any form of trouble or violence. What he is interested in is known, and it is, let there be peace in River State, he said. Controversy now surrounds the killing of Uche Orukwo, the 30-year-old member of the vigilante group allegedly killed in Mile 2 Diop, Port Harcourt, River State last Saturday by cultists. Orukwo, according to earlier information, was allegedly killed by suspected cultists when members of his vigilante group accompanied police on operations at Obidanso Street, Mile 2 Diop, Port Harcourt, River State last Saturday. However, Pastor Moses Orukwo, father of the slain vigilante member, told journalists on Tuesday, April the 9th, 2024, that information available to him suggests that his son was killed by his colleagues who went with him on the operation. Pastor Orukwo alleged that there have been hatred and envy against his son by his colleagues after he was promoted to second in command of the vigilante unit and base where he is deployed. Pastor Orukwo therefore called on Rivers Commissioner of Police, CP Olatunji Disu, to order an immediate investigation into the circumstances surrounding his son's death by inviting the commander of the vigilante group and the people who went with him for the operation that led to his death for questioning. The father of the late vigilante said inquiries carried out by the family showed that the narratives of his colleagues could not add up. Recall that the River State Police Command had confirmed the killing of the vigilante member Uche Orukwo last Saturday. Analysts have described the contradiction and alleged list of local government chairmen as a timely reminder of what the forthcoming 2027 elections in the state will portray, and that it might be the route to power layoff for the PDP. Speaking on Atlantic Television Network's Open Conversation, a public affairs analyst, Chuba Opuzo, observed that the People's Democratic Party is facing a turbulent political era.
Like it or yes, we've seen people from the People's Democratic Party over the period of time who have come out to clearly tell the world that for one injury or for whatever reasons, they're going to sink the party, whether the party likes it or yes. And what is happening right now is an obvious indication that there is a power play somewhere against the supposed norms and traditions as known from party hierarchies and processes. Like it or from party hierarchies and processes. Like it or yes.
In line with political preparations towards the 2027 general elections, Chuba Opuzo maintained that the People's Democratic Party, if not properly handled, will lose its political status quo.
However, it is imperative to note that yesterday, 60 honorable members of the People's Democratic Party clearly made their stance very loud. And however clear their stance were, it simply indicates that whether we like it or yes, if nothing is done from a Maradonic point of view in the People's Democratic Party, this might just be the last of it we're going to be seeing in coming days. The People's Democratic Party is likely not just only to disintegrate, but possibly very likely to completely be annihilated from the political sphere. Because why? If the 60 honorable members have given you guidelines, on a very serious note, we all have a track record of whatever we do. As an unbiased analyst for this period of time, it is imperative that people already know me with stuffs. And what is my stuff? What I think is right is where I stand, and I say it as clearly as it is. Obviously, what the National Public Secretary just did was just to arouse the sarcastic, funny stance that so many people have been echoing in local parlance.
Coming after the National Working Committee of the People's Democratic Party has debunked a purported list of caretaker committee members circulating on social media and published in some national dailies across the country. Rivers State Commissioner of Police, CP Olatunji Rilwan Disu, has congratulated the Muslim Ummah in the state for successful completion of this year's Ramadan fast and wishes all faithful a blissful Eid al-Fitr celebrations. He calls on the good people of the state to use this period of celebration for sober reflections and to offer prayers for the peace and progress of the state and the nation at large. While felicitating with the Muslims, the Commissioner of Police calls on religious leaders, worshippers and residents of the state to cooperate with the police and other security agencies while assuring residents that adequate security arrangements have been put in place to guarantee a hitch-free celebration and improve public safety. The Commissioner of Police has directed all area commanders, heads of departments and divisional police officers to implement overt and covert security deployments throughout the state, adding that the measures are aimed at safeguarding lives and properties, providing security to all worship and recreational centers, and conducting raids on identified troubled spots. Consequently, the visibility policing shall be maintained during and after the celebration, while the police patrol vehicles have been strategically deployed on our highways, and government as well as private critical infrastructure shall be protected. The Commissioner of Police therefore urges the good people of the state to be peaceful and celebrate in moderation. PDP National Publicity Secretary Debo Olugunaba says that the list of caretaker committee members for Rivers State, which he signed and circulated in the media, is authentic. This is coming after the list of caretaker committee members for Rivers PDP published in the media shows some additional names and some executive members that were not included, which compelled Governor Fubara to describe it as a fake list. But in a media chat, the PDP National Publicity Secretary says Rivers people should disregard the list that was published on the dailies and the party's website. adding that the above clarification means that the statement by Governor Fubara is not the party's position, while the published lists are the authentic officials of the party. Now there's more news, but don't forget, you can still connect with us and watch us on our ATN socials, Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network, Instagram and TikTok, Atlantic TV Network 1, on X, formerly Twitter, Atlantic TV Net, and watch us live on our website, www.atlanticnetwork.tv. And moving on, the Board of Inquiry set up by the Defense Headquarters to investigate the March 14th killing of 17 soldiers at Okwama, Delta State, is scheduled to commence sitting on Wednesday in Warri. Chairman of the board, Air Vice Marshal David Ajayi, told Governor Sheriff Oboriwori in Warri that they were on a fact-finding mission and not to apportion blame. We are here to gather facts from security agencies, community leaders, and community dwellers. This report will also help us to ensure healthy communication that will enhance civil-military relationship and ensure that the economic activities thrive again in the affected communities, he said. However, Okwama leaders said that the people will not be part of the inquiry. One leader said, "Our people cannot participate in the military inquiry because Okwama people are displaced in the bush. How can people come out to attend such meetings? They are not even safe now." Besides the Okwama leader, the community's lawyer before the March 14th incidents, Ejedaba Innocent, confirmed that Okwama people would not attend the sitting. On the contrary, a leader of Okoloba community, which has a land dispute with Okwama, indicated that his people would participate in the inquiry today. It's gathered that the panel would commence sitting in the morning and meet with Okoloba community leaders from 2 p.m. The panel would resume sitting in Bayelsa State on the issue on Friday. Delta State government has indicated interest in presenting a position paper to the military inquiry. Meanwhile, the traditional ruler of Akubene main kingdom, Bomadi local government area, His Royal Highness Kalanama the 8th, said that they did not invite his community to the sitting. Sacked Deputy Governor of Edo State, Philip Shaibu, has written to the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Olukayode Ariwola, to obtain a complaint form to file a formal petition against the state Chief Judge, Justice Daniel Okumbowa. This is coming after Shaibu was impeached on Monday by the State House of Assembly following the adoption of a report of a 7-man panel set up by the Chief Judge of the state. The impeachment panel had investigated allegations of misconduct and perjury leveled against the former deputy governor by the State House of Assembly. But Shaibu, in a letter from the chambers of B.I. Dakum and Co., dated April the 8th, 2024, applied to the Chief Justice of Nigeria, who doubles as the chairman of the National Judicial Council, for leave to obtain a complaint form to file a formal petition against Okumbowa. The letter signed by Adeze A. Enwanta, a former Commissioner of Information and Orientation to Governor Godwin Obaseki, seeks to institute a petition of abuse of office, official misconduct, and desecration of oath of office by the Edo Chief Judge. Mwanta added that the letter was to formally request for a complaint form as prescribed under the Judicial Discipline Regulations 2017 to enable his client to file his complaint against the state's Chief Judge. The Imo State Police Command says it had launched an investigation into the murder of a lawyer, Garrix Anyao, who was killed by assailants a week ago. The police public relations officer in the state, Henry Okoye, an assistant superintendent of police, disclosed this in a telephone interview with the press on Tuesday. Mr. Okoye, who confirmed the incidents, however, promised to make an official statement upon completion of investigation into the matter. The press, however, gathered that Mr. Anyanwu was killed in his hometown of Orodo in Mbitolu local government area of the state by some suspected assassins. His decomposing body was later discovered in a bush on 5th of April 2024. A family source who pleaded anonymity said that the deceased will be buried on Wednesday, the 10th of April, and declined further comments. Press further gathered that members of the deceased family had approached the police with a sworn affidavit to recover his remains for immediate burial. The press recalls that a magistrate, Nnaemeka Ugboma, who was the former chairman of Obudiagwa Customary Court in Oguta local government area of the state, was equally murdered by assailants. Mr. Obama was shot dead by gunmen on the 2nd of February 2023 while presiding over a court section. The gunmen, who reportedly rode in motorcycles, were said to have shot at 55-year-old magistrate after identifying him as their target. Umuahia North Local Government Area Council Chairman Victor Ikeji and the Abia State Police Commissioner Mr. Kenechukwu Onwuemelie have inspected a hitherto bicycle repair workshop behind Okigwe Park in Umuahia and former Ohoho Motor Park in the Abia capital, which has allegedly become a shanty and a den for criminals and illicit drug dealers. The mayor, while conducting the Abia State Police Commissioner around the shanties, expressed his desire to demolish and rebuild them to accommodate motor park and markets. Ikeji lamented that the activities of transporters and traders at the Ishi Gate caused traffic gridlock and defaced the beauty of Umuahia city center, which entailed that they be relocated to a better place to operate. He maintained that the administration of Governor Alex O.T. is interested in making Umuahia and every part of Abia State befitting and a safe place for people to live. Also speaking during the inspection, Abia State Police Commissioner Kenechukwu Onwuemelie said that the shanty was a known hub for criminals and drug peddlers in the state capital. He said that it will be in the best interest of the state for the shanty to go or put to productive use. The tactical team of Operation Zenda Joint Task Force in Benue has arrested a 37-year-old woman who was allegedly in possession of 317 live ammunition. The commander of Operation Zenda, SP Felix Nomillon, confirmed the arrest on Tuesday in Makurdi. He said that the suspect was arrested at Ayati Junction in Ukum local government area of Benue State. The commander said that the suspect was an associate of a dreaded bandit operating in local government area. He confirmed that the task force recovered the suspect's 200 live ammunition of general purpose machine guns, GPMG, and 117 rounds of 7.6 mm ammunition. "17 people allegedly killed by armed herders in Mbaikyo, Gwa East local government area of Benue State were buried on Tuesday at a very emotional ceremony. The mass burial of the victims of herdsmen attack were conducted by Benue State government led by the governor Hyacinth Alea. Armed herdsmen had on March the 7th attacked Mbaikyo community and killed 17 persons, including a retired Warrant 2 army officer and a boy. However, 2 out of the 17 farmers were earlier buried because the corpses were fast decomposing, but the remaining 15 were buried on Tuesday. Speaking during the burial, Governor Alia was emphatic about the solution to the incessant attacks on farmers by the armed herdsmen and was the formation of the vigilance groups represented by his deputy Sam O'Day. Earlier condemned the brutal killing of the people in the strong terms. He said that Benue government was committed to the protecting and protection of lives and property of all citizens. Today is a sad day in the history of Benue State. To line up caskets like this is unacceptable. I am so sad and my heart is heavy to behold this kind of sight that shouldn't have happened. Security is not for government alone because there is no one that can protect you like yourself. You need to have a joint security task force or vigilante groups that will be properly profiled and handed over to government to handle them. That is the solution to this insecurity we are facing in the state, he said. He pledged to construct the rural road that passed through the axis to ease the movement of security agencies to the area in times of emergencies, adding that the community also needed a police station. The governor further promised to meet with the families of the bereaved after the burial and also prayed against the reoccurrence of such incidents. Gunmen have carried out another deadly attack in 2 local government areas of Benue State, killing 5 people and kidnapping a woman, while 5 people were killed in Agatu and Gwere West local government areas. Multiple injuries were reported in Apa local government area. Residents say that the incidents happened between Sunday and Monday in different locations of the state. In Agatu local government area, locals say that armed invaders attacked Ipele village on Sunday evening, killing 4 individuals, including 1 beheaded and 3 with amputations. Another attack in Gwere West local government area claimed the life of 1 person, bringing the total casualties from the Sunday invasions in both LGAs to 5, while several others injured. In Apa local government area, while no deaths were recorded, armed invaders kidnapped a woman during the siege on the Otukpo Adoka Oweto highway, shooting someone in the leg and targeting vehicle tires. The invaders continued their attacks on Monday along the same highway. The council chairman of Apa local government area, Ochai Alidu, confirmed the attacks, saying that efforts were underway to tackle the situation. Joseph Adakole, a humanitarian worker, expressed concern over the escalating attacks in Idoma land, leading to casualties, property destructions, and displacement of villagers. Council chairman of Agatu local government area, Yakubu Ochepo, highlighted the need for enhanced security support to repel these attacks. He decried the recent invasion in Ipele village, where armed herdsmen from Ogumobo attacked villagers returning home after previous assaults, resulting in fatalities, injuries, and property damage. Efforts to obtain a comment from State Police Public Relations Officer SP Catherine Anene regarding the incidents were unsuccessful as at the time of filing this report. Kogi State Governor Usman Ododo has signed contracts with 2 construction firms to the tune of 29.9 billion naira for commencement of civil works at Etahi, Ori, Onibo, and Anpa erosion sites across the 3 senatorial districts of the state. A breakdown of the contract shows that the sum for Etahi Gully sites in Okene local government area stands at 110.6 billion naira, while that of Omibo in Kaba Bono local government area is 9.8 billion naira, and the contract sum for Olubo Ojo Goli site is in Ampa local government area stands at 9.3 billion naira. A statement by the State Commissioner for Information, Kingsley Fanwo, said that the signing of the contract for the commencement of civil works was to charge the contractors to execute the jobs with the sense of responsibility and the seriousness they deserve. Governor Ododo, who was represented by the State Commissioner for Environment and Ecological Management, Joseph Stephen, called for all hands to be on deck to ensure that the projects are executed to specifications for the benefit of the communities, and urged the people in the areas covered by the contracts to own and safeguard them. He also urged the contractors to deploy all relevant resources to execute the assignment to ensure job quality delivery that will meet global standards. Justice J.A. Kereng of the Gombe State High Court, sitting in Gombe on Monday, April the 8th, 2024, convicted and sentenced the duo of Ibrahim Abdullahi and Umar Usman to various jail terms for obtaining the sum of 682,847 naira only under false pretenses. He also sentenced Muhammad Salah Sojo to 6 years imprisonment. All the three convicts were jailed for employment fraud. Abdullahi and Usman were separately arraigned on three count charges of stealing and cheating and employment scam by the Gombe Zonal Command of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. The charge against Ibrahim Abdullahi reads that Ibrahim Abdullahi, sometime in October 2020 and January 2021 in Gombe State, within the jurisdiction of this Honorable Court, obtained the Polaris ATM card, properties of Aminu Adamu Idris and Muhammad Saidu Jibril, which you claimed was documentation for offer of employment you secured for them in a private liability company at Gombe, but rather used the said ATM to obtain loan to the tune of 682,847 naira. And did this without their consent, and thereby committed an offense contrary to Section 320 of the Penal Code Law and punishable under Sections 322 of the same law. The charge reads that Umar Usman, sometimes in October 2020 and January 2021 in Gombe State, within the jurisdiction of this Honorable Court, obtained the Polaris ATM card, properties of Aminu Adamu Idris and Muhammad Saidu Jibril, which you claimed was documentation for offer of employment you secured for them in a private liability company at Gombe, but rather used the said ATM to obtain a loan to the tune of 682,847 naira only, without their consent, and thereby committed an offense contrary to Section 320 of the Penal Code Law and punishable under Sections 322 of the same law. Upon arraignment, the defendants pleaded guilty to their respective charges. When they were read to them, in view of the defendants' plea, prosecuting counsel A.B. Kware prayed the court to convict and sentence them accordingly. However, counsel to the defendants R.A. Anthony pleaded with the court to temper justice with mercy, as the defendants are first-time offenders who are remorseful for their actions. Justice Kereng convicted and sentenced Abdullahi to 1 year imprisonment with an option of fine of 50,000 naira only, and Usman bagged 2 years imprisonment or a fine of 50,000 naira. The convicts bagged their imprisonment when they allegedly approached their victims in October 2022 about some phony job opportunities in a private liability company in Gombe State. They directed the victims to each open an account with Polaris Bank, which they did, and surrendered their account details as well as their ATM cards to them. The convicts in return gave their victims the sum of 10,000 naira each. After a while, the victims had issues with Polaris Bank transactions and went to bank to make inquiries, only to be confronted with an outstanding loan of 682,847 naira. All efforts to distance themselves from the loans proved abortive and reported the case to the EFCC. You are watching Government and Public Service Reports on Atlantic Television Network right here in the city of Port Harcourt. We will be back after this very short break. Please stay tuned.
People into the country illegally. That is amazing.
Honorable
You human
on the point of order.
Honorable
On the point of
They are not picking our calls. They made up their minds.
So no agreement with the EU, but
Every day our lives are changed by history,
We are one people, all of us.
leaders, politics,
Nobody's ambition is what the blood.
I have fought a very family, natural occurrence, war, and the world economy.
I belong to everybody, and I belong to nobody.
ATN covers it all on ATN Politics today.
across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains. Through the Sahara, we bring on-spot news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on The Fact Today, only on ATN.
People into the country illegally. That is amazing.
Honorables,
You human
on the point of
human-
Back to Government and Public Service reports right here on Atlantic Television Network in the city of Port Harcourt. And now to the rest of our stories. A retired justice of the Court of Appeal, Ahmad Olariwaju Belgore, is dead. The chairman of the Nigerian Bar Association, Ilorin branch, Kwara State, Kamal, on Tuesday. Information reaching me now indicates that Honorable Justice Ahmad Olariwaju Belgore, PCGA, retired, is dead. May Allah forgive his shortcomings, Gambari said in a special story. Retired as the Justice of the Court of Appeal, April the 18th, 2023, payment of the retirement age of 70. Meanwhile, in a condolence message, the Emir of Ilorin and Chairman Kwara State Traditional Rulers Council, Alhaji Ibrahim Sulu Gambari, described the death of Justice Belgore as a big loss to Ilorin Emirate and the nation at large. The Emir, in a statement by his spokesperson, Abdulaziz Arona, said that this is a great and colossal loss that has befallen the Ilorin Emirate and humanity at large. It is with shock that I received the news of the demise of Justice Ahmad Belgore. He was a complete gentleman, a thorough judicial officer who served the nation meritoriously in various capacities, nationally and internationally. He was one of the finest justices that the Ilorin Emirates have ever produced. He contributed in no small measures to the growth and development of judiciary and humanity in general. The Emir communicated with the immediate and extended family members of the deceased, as well as the entire people of Ilorin and Nigerians in general. The federal government said it will engage 10,000 youths and retirees in the planting 6 million trees across the country to mitigate the negative effects of climate change. Minister of State for Environment and Ecological Management, Dr. Isiaq Salako, who disclosed this, said that the program is meant to create jobs for the unemployed, provide economic benefits to the retired persons, while also addressing the pressing issue of environmental degradation. Said that the tree planting program would be carried out in phases with a focus on areas that have been affected by deforestation and desertification, while the World Health Organization said that the climate change is impacting human lives and health in a variety of ways, adding that it threatens the essential ingredients of a good health, clean air and safe drinking water, nutritious food supplies and a safe shelter, essential to undermine the decades of progress in global health. The Global Health Organization stressed that greenhouse gas emissions that result from the extraction and burning of fossil fuels are major contributors to both climate change and air pollution. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo has thrown his weight behind the need to restructure Nigeria, warning that the preponderance of wrong systems of administration is bad for the governance of any country. Obasanjo spoke in Enugu at the weekend during the public presentation of the book, In Brotherhood We Stand, a roadmap for the rebirth of a fragmented nation, written by engineer Chris Okoye. The event was held at the Emmanuel Gardens, Independence Lane in Enugu. The former president, who was the chairman of the occasion, lamented that Nigeria had moved from one to another. His words, the clarion for restructuring and reassessment of the terms of our union as a nation. No matter how economical viable a nation is, bad governance and a wrong system of administration can bring it down, as there is a direct correlation between economic and political reforms. Our historic experience at constitution making and political reform shows that we may have some structural defects that require adjustment so as not to continue to constrain the deepening and widening and consolidation of democratic values and practices. Indeed, some of the contradictions and challenges bequeathed by the colonial administration have continued to pose problems for us to this day. As things stand, therefore, our constitution-making efforts must go down the grassroots to deal with the issues of inclusion, popular participation, ownership, and legitimacy. The former president, who spoke through a live video link at the occasion, lamented that Nigeria, in one word, has moved from bad governance to another. In the process, we tried to adjust to the weaknesses of the system and equally adapted to doing without some of those fundamentals that really ought to drive the political process. Some issues that have emerged include, but are not limited to, the challenge of constitutionalism and constitutional reform, the opportunity all stakeholders together to discuss the political path for the nation, the challenge of building new, accountable and responsive and focused leadership, and how to build, operate and sustain real political liberties, social justice, rights and obligations, electoral reforms that ensure credibility and respectability of elections, relations between the tiers of government, performance of government, and how to ensure truly democratic governance for all. In all of this, the central challenge is still how to strengthen the social contract between the custodians of state power and the governed. While he stressed the need for unity, cohesion and equity, the former president said all hands must be on deck to move Nigeria forward. Obasanjo said we want in Nigeria today is unity and cohesion, equity, togetherness and collective commitment to our progress to the Nigerian project. We want to move forward, look forward, think about the past and to help the present and the future and work for a stronger and more united Nigeria. It is unhelpful to devote time and energy to unrealistic and even unpatriotic strategies for precipitating or crisis, conflicts, deadlock and disintegration. In a democracy, there must be checks and balances and there must be effective watchdogs. Commenting on the book, Obasanjo said, "This book is of great interest to me as a person because it is a direct fallout from the National Political Reform Council and Conference which my administration organized in 2005, and to us as a nation because the content of the book is a most needed panacea for many of the ills plaguing our nation today." Honorable Ikenga Ugochienre led coalition unknown to the parliament and both caucuses, both House of Representatives minority and People's Democratic Party caucuses has disowned Ikenga Ugochienre and his coalition of opposition lawmakers, saying such a body is unknown to the parliament. This was contained in a statement issued and co-signed by the minority caucus leaders Kingsley Chinda, Ali Madaki, Ali Issa, and George Ozodinobi. The press statement was in a reaction to a press conference earlier addressed by Honorable Ikenga Ugochienre and about 5 others with 54 imaginary membership under the aegis of coalition of opposition lawmakers. The disclaimer press statement read, "Our attention has been drawn to a press release by the group and states unequivocally that the Minority Caucus and PDP Caucus dissociate themselves from the said press statement. The said coalition of lawmakers led by Honorable Ikenga Ugochienre is unknown to the Parliament, and both caucuses condemn in totality the absurd move, uncouth and unparliamentary language of the group. That the general public should take note that such a coalition is unknown to the Parliament, and their demands does not represent that of the minority parties. That the said lawmakers should desist from further misinformation of the public and be more honorable in their conduct. And viewers, this is where we wrap it up on this edition of Government and Public Service Reports on Atlantic Television Network right here in the city of Port Harcourt. I am Raymond Ken Mbata. Stay connected with us on our ATN socials, Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network, Instagram and TikTok, Atlantic TV Network 1, on X, formerly Twitter, Atlantic TV Net, and watch us live on our website, atlanticnetwork.tv. Peace and unity are the pathways to progress. Thank you for watching.
From the night across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on-spot news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics.